So there's a trick to doing this kind of question. Okay, you don't have to expand everything and find that you get stuck. Okay, there's actually a trick to doing this question. So if you notice that the two terms that you have, one is 2p minus q and one is q minus 2p, right? This in a way is like they are opposite to each other. They're like 倒反 okay lah. They are like the inverted sequence. One is the 2p's at the front and for the other is 2p at the back. So how do we go about doing this question? There's actually a way to go about doing it. Okay, so how, right, is that I'm going to just show you all something that if q minus 2p in general, okay, in general, if we look at a minus b, right? Okay, do you agree with me that a minus b, right? I can write this as so-called like negative 1 multiplied by negative a, right? Because negative 1 is like negative 1 times negative a. A is like basically negative 1 times negative a, sorry, right? So b, on the other hand, can also be written as so-called positive 1 times b times negative b, negative 1 times positive b, sorry, negative 1 multiplied by positive b. Okay, I mean, since it's positive, I'm just not going to write anything there. Okay, so with that, right, what I'm trying to show you is that if I forcibly really remove, I try to identify a common factor between the two, you can see that negative 1 can be a common factor between the two. Of course, why do I do that? Of course, there is a good reason why I'm doing that lah. So if I try to remove negative 1, I try to factorize it, right? If I put a negative 1 outside, you can see that what I'm left with is I'm left with a negative a and a b. Okay, so this gives me like a negative a. I mean, there's two of them, it's just a plus because it's just adding two terms, b. Or basically we can just write this as negative 1 multiplied to b minus a, right? And since it's negative 1, I mean, we don't have to write the number 1 in algebra, right? So we're just going to, or even in numeric terms, we just write it as negative of b minus a. Okay? And you can see that if you don't believe me, you try expanding this and you will actually get back the same thing. You will actually get back b minus a. So in general, it is true. If I take a minus b, right? A minus b, right? This is actually the negative of b minus a. So if I were to flip the terms, you know, like front to back, to throw swap the two terms basically, and keeping the minus sign, all I need to do is to put a minus sign outside. Okay, and you can see why. It's because what I did is I factorize out a negative 1 from both the terms. I put it outside. I just need to swap the terms. Okay, so once again, a minus b is the same as the negative of b minus a over here. How does that help you? So if you look at this question here, right, you can employ this technique when the two terms, right, they are in opposite sequence to each other. There are two terms, okay. So three terms, then is not so easy lah. Okay, so you think carefully. This guy here, q minus 2p, I can write it as, minus 3n multiplied to negative of 2p minus q. Okay, let me just write it properly again since, okay, sorry for the bad handwriting. So I just want to make sure it's clear to you. This is 2p minus q. Okay, so you can see that q minus 2p here, I've rewrote this as negative of 2p minus q. Okay, simply by applying the fact that, just by applying the fact that when we have q minus 2p, this is the negative of 2p minus q. Okay, 2p minus q. I can swap the terms, right? Just by putting a minus sign outside. So then you have m bracket 2p minus q. And okay, let me just erase those at the bottom so it doesn't hang in the way. Oh, let me see if I can remove it fast. Okay. Okay, so negative and negative, you can see and negative and negative, right? This is negative multiplied to 3n multiplied to negative. I mean negative and negative. This like negative 3n and negative sign, that actually can give you a positive 3n multiplied to 2p minus q. just by combining this negative and this negative sign. And on my left hand side, sorry, is m 2p minus q. So once I write it in this form, can you see that it actually becomes quite an easy question where you now recognize the common factor between the two, right? So again, I remove 2p minus q from both sides, and I write out m plus 3n. This is what I'm left with. Okay, and this is the answer. Okay, can. So this technique is very useful when you want to factorize, and you notice the factor seems to be there, but they're in opposite sequence, right? So this is what you can do. Okay, thank you.